Well, aloha everyone, and I'm Representative Kymberly Kine, and I want to thank you for joining us for this week's Inbox. We have very special guests here who are not only famous, but they are here working the Capitol because there are some bills that are really concerning them, and they're working for free here for you to make sure that you're protected. And we have, of course, Beth Chapman and Dog Chapman.
Thank you.
And you are concerned about a bill that is going to basically allow criminals who have been arrested to get out on bail earlier.
Yes.
And that's House Bill 2514. Tell me why you're concerned about the way it's written currently.
Well, the reason that we're so concerned about this bill is because there's no accountability. There's no repercussion and there's no deterrent for a person who's been accused of a crime. These people will be brought into the jail facility, they'll be interviewed within 3 days, and then they could possibly be released without a bail bond or without any kind of accountability, which is a PR bond. Other people who are on PR bonds is like Jerry Sandusky out of Pennsylvania, who we all know is, on trial right now for 80 counts of rape on 10.
Alleged.
80 counts of rape on 10 small boys. And that is just not the kind of message that we want to send. There needs to be a repercussion and a deterrent, and there needs to be accountability by people who have been accused of crimes. When a person is released on a bail bond, they have to pay money, they have to put up collateral, and they have to have a loved one that's going to stand up for them. So in case this one comes looking for them, then they have information, and there's somebody that's actually on the hook. If they use pretrial services, then those victims of domestic violence or victims of assault or those types of crime, their assailant could be on the street within 3 days without anybody watching them or without anybody paying any attention to them whatsoever. The last part of this bill is about folks who've been in custody for years. They want to release them within 12 to 18 months sooner into programs that would basically reintroduce them into society. The problem is that Hawaii doesn't have any of these programs. So it's our opinion that we need to have, responsible legislation when we're talking about releasing criminals or those who've been accused of violent crimes. We have to have really tight rules, and we need to know where they are and what they're doing, and we need to make sure that they're paying restitution to their victims. But we have to do it in a very responsible manner so that we're not releasing dangerous folks back on the streets of Hawaii on the taxpayers' dollar.
And the main thing they're saying is the jails are full. Okay, so the jails are full. There's 2 or 3, whatever it is, to a book. That's unsafe, and it's against the federal law. So we agree that some of these guys need to be released, but we're trying to set a level. So if you've been charged with a misdemeanor 2 and below, you will be eligible for a taxpayer bond, which is in Hawaii called an OR, your own reconnaissance. Has nothing to do with your own reconnaissance. It has to do with the taxpayers paying it. Anything of M1, misdemeanor 1, like hitting your wife, hitting your husband, hit and run, and above, must have to pay a little bit of money to get out on bail and then be supervised by one of the 16 bail companies in Hawaii. To be able to release a felon for free is not what Hawaii is about. Hawaii is the 7th or 10th largest city in America by population, and so our crime grows, monthly. We have children here. Hawaii is rated the safest place in America to live before the PR bond study was released. Now, if they start releasing felons for free because the felon knows what to say and can, what would Jesus answer that question? Let me do it like he would. And those people will release them as they would of Jesus. So once that starts happening, Hawaii will not remain the safest place in America to live for children ever again.
We have to watch that because tourism is our #1 source of money for our mom and pop operations. And so we have to be very careful not to discourage tourists and people that are coming from outside Hawaii from coming here.
So really what this bill started out was a compassionate measure for prisoners who perhaps shouldn't be spending a long term in prison. It was Governor Abercrombie's goal to bring back our prisoners from the mainland, and this new reintegration program was to release them from prison. However, the concerns that our special guests here have arose when we realized the way that the bill was written would allow felons to get out of prison much easier. And so we're hoping to amend that. We don't want to be
Correct.
against everything here at the Capitol. We're all about democracy
Right.
and sharing opinions. People come to this building with different backgrounds and experiences, and so we're hoping to work with Governor Abercrombie and his administration while also sharing your real life experiences to ensure that the people of Hawaii are still safe. And I thank you so much for helping to
Thank you so
educate us
much.
here
Yes.
at the Capitol, and hopefully we'll get some of those amendments in that will keep people safe.
Hopefully so.
Thank you, ma'am.
Mahalo for
Thank
joining
you.
us.
Thank
And,
you.
until next time, we want to thank you for joining us for this week's Inbox, and we want to thank our special guests for fighting for us, not just around Hawaii, but here at the state capitol. Mahalo for joining us. Aloha.
Aloha.